Namaste. For quite some time, some of my family members and friends have been asking the meaning of a few verses in Hanuman Chalisa that is not clear. And this video, I will make an attempt with respect to Shri Hanumanji and the devoted people in learning Hanuman Chalisa and other spiritual knowledge and practices. So this is my humble effort to explain a few things about Hanuman Chalisa, and it is dedicated to all the devotees, especially children and families, and that includes my youngest grandson who learned Hanuman Chalisa at the age of 4, and every time he sees me, we do Hanuman Chalisa together. That's quite a lot of fun. Hanuman Chalisa is different, slightly different in a way from Sanskrit mantras, because in Sanskrit mantras the meaning is in vibration. So even if one does not understand the literal meaning of Sanskrit words in the mantra, the effect and benefit of the vibration is still available to that person. But Hanuman Chalisa is written in a language, a regional language, Awadhi, where the meaning is in the words, hidden in the words. It is not only in the vibration, and vibration is the primary source of transmitting knowledge and impact in Sanskrit mantras. But in Hanuman Chalisa, one has to know the meaning of certain words and phrases. So I'll begin with the first verse, which is very important. Shri Guru Charan Saroj Raj Nij Manu Mukur Sudhar. Now that means that to begin with any spiritual practice, any devotional activity, first one has to seek the blessing from the Guru. And here the comparison is made, the dust from the feet of Guru is enough for me to get his blessings. And together with that is the clarity of mind. Because if the mind is distracted, fragmented, disturbed, then your attention is not focused on your activity, your repetition, your recitation, and your devotion. Therefore, a clear mind. Now, clarity of mind is greatly emphasized in the scriptures. Mind is like a mirror, and if it is covered with dust and filth, then all the images, reflections in the mirror will also be disturbed and ugly. Similar to a lake with still and clear water, you see the reflection of the moon as if it is the moon in the water. But if you throw a pebble, the water trembles and distorts, then the moon appears to be broken in pieces. So a clear, still water, a clean mirror, along with the devotion to the Guru and the grace and blessings from the Guru is essential to begin a spiritual practice. The second line explains that through this practice and the grace of Guru, one can achieve or accomplish the 4 main goals of life: Dharma, Artha, Kam and Moksha, which is possible only through clear mind and the grace and blessing of the Guru. Now what is Dharma? Dharma is that which upholds you, your foundation. your duties, responsibility, and righteous actions. You have duty and responsibility as a teacher, as a student, as a parent, as children, as friend, as leader. All those in different situations, different time and place. You have a dharma. It is not religion. It is what upholds you, your fulfillment, your duties and responsibilities. The ground that upholds you is dharati. Dharma is that upholds me, myself. The second doha in Hanuman Chalisa has also very interesting reference to yoga and Ayurveda. That is in the second line, Bal Buddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Harahu Kalesha Vikar. Now the question comes, what is Kalesha and what is Vikar? Kalesh is related to yoga, and there are 5 kinds of klesha. That is mental afflictions, disturbances, distractions, mind stuff. One is avidya, that is ignorance, ahankar, ego. Now ahankar, ego means really that you have imagined yourself to be something or in some form and shape, and you believe that rather than your true self. So a artificially created imaginary self is ahankar, not your true self. The third is rag, that is attachment, dvesha, that is repulsion. Now some scholars have also pointed out that rag and dvesh, attachment and repulsion, are actually one and the same thing. They are 2 sides of the same coin. Attachment is when you are running toward it, and repulsion is when you are running away from it. In both cases you are running. So it's one quality with 2 sides to it. That is dvesh and rag, attachment and repulsion. And the 5th is abhinivesh, that is clinging to the body, obsessed with the body. Hold it as long as possible. Be fearful of losing. Those mental afflictions are called abhinivesh. So mental afflictions are avidya, ignorance, ahankar, ego, rag, attachment, dvesh, repulsion, and abhinivesh, body clinging. Now all of this together is mentioned in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. The most important sutra in Patanjali is considered to be number 2, which is Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is cessation of mental afflictions. That is yoga. That's the very succinct, shortest possible and correct definition of yoga. So this is the brief explanation of Klesh. Harahu, Kalesh, Vikar. What is Vikar? Vikar has a connection with Ayurveda. Ayurveda means science of life. Vikar means disease or ailment. Now, how is Vikar originating in you? Is caused by klesha, mental afflictions, combined with many other distortions in your life. Disharmony in subtle bodies. In your mind, knowledge, wisdom, there is something missing or some impurity exists there. Imbalance in the air, water and fire elements. Vata, kapha, pitta. And all that is collectively called mistake of intelligence or pragya aparad. And that is aggravated and manifested in your physical self by your lifestyle and food habits. So bhakti and devotion to Hanuman helps us to remove both klesha and vikara in our living, in our life. In the verse number 7, there is Ram Kaj Karibeko Atur, which means the devotion of Hanuman is so perfect, sincere, never losing commitment, totally devoted, is that he is always eager and ready and prepared to do the work of Ram, those activities that assist Ram and his mission in any way. And subsequent verses also have this reference that he fulfills Ram's instructions, Ram's needs. And therefore, the hint is there that he is more helpful or readily helpful to devotees of Rama. In other words, one cannot have disregard or disinterest in Ram and his character and expect fulfillment or blessings from Hanuman. So you have to go through Ram. This is the hint in verse number 7. 12, it is very interesting reference when Ram says, Tuma mama priya bharat samabhai. Ram is saying to Hanuman that you are as dear to me as my brother Bharat. Now here a very interesting question arises that Lakshman was very close, respectful, devoted to Ram. He accompanied Ram for 14 years in the forest throughout the journey and returned with Ram and Sita to Ayodhya, back from Lanka, through the forest. And he served, stood at service 24 hours every day. He had rarely slept. So how and why Ram is saying to Hanuman that you are dear to me as my brother Bharat? Now what is the difference? Why Ram is distinguishing, not saying that you are as dear to me as Lakshman, which would have made perfect sense. He said you are as dear to me as Bharat. The difference here is that Lakshman was also committed, also devoted. He had the joy of being with Ram. Bharat was separated from Ram. So while Lakshman had devotion and service, seva, to Ram, Bharat had devotion plus sacrifice. He stayed back and ruled Ayodhya in the name of Ram. That pain of separation, absence of Ram from his life, was difficult to bear. So, in a sense, it was easier for Lakshman to be devoted, be of service to Ram, and be with him. That was a blessing. But Bharat was separated, and still he was devoted and ready to serve on behalf of Ram. So, one could say that Bharat's character was slightly higher in the eyes of Ram. So that's why he says, you are as dear to me as my brother Bharat. The next verse, which has some hidden knowledge, is, as in other stories it has been explained, that Hanuman was very, very powerful. And he at one time thought that the sun, shining sun, is a toy or a ball or a rasgulla, and he wants to go and swallow it. So how far is sun from the earth is indicated in this verse. which says, Yuga Sahasra Yojana par Bhanu. Bhanu is sun. So there are many calculations for the 4 yugas, Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kali Yuga. And each yuga is here explained as 12,000 years. 12,000 years. Now one could argue that they have also heard that yugas are different durations, but time is a relative concept. In certain period of time you think more time has passed, less time has passed. When one has very long lifespan and we compare with our lifespan, or one in meditation, time stops, so you come back, for you time has not passed, for other people has passed. If you are traveling at very high speed, time slows down for you. The faster you travel in space, the slower you travel in time. So it's a complex subject. But for simplicity, let's take this 12,000. Sahasra is 1,000 and Yojan is about 8 miles distance. So 12,000 times 1,000 times 8 is 96 million miles. 96 million. Orbit of the earth. Sometimes it is a little closer in this part of the orbit and then it swings further away. So the range is about 92 million to 97, 98 million miles. The average is 96, very, very close to what is the modern measurement. Next verse I would take is Apan Tej Samharo Ape. That's verse number 23. Now this refers to self-control, that having more power, unleash it aimlessly, purposefully, in a destructive way, is not a good idea. So Hanuman is able to control his action and his tremendous. The next verse is number 26, where Man Krama Vachan, second line is Sankat te Hanuman Chhodave, Man Krama Vachan Dhyan Jo Lave. In other words, Hanuman can relieve you from trouble, can save you from harm, because he has a very noble quality of Manakrama Vachan. His mind, his thought, his action and his speech are all in harmony. And therefore, he has the power when he takes a step in action, because his mind, speech and action is in harmony. It has more strength, more effect on the result of his activity. Therefore, it is a good idea for all of us to stay sincere, honest, truthful and well coordinated in our thoughts, speech and action. Number 27 also has a very interesting, meaningful concept. Ram Tapasvi Raja. Now we have heard references to Ram Raj. What makes a good ruler, a good leader, a good king? A king is not that helpful to rule the whole society if he has lust for power, attachment to wealth, is unfair, unjust, does not worry about the disadvantaged people, the poor people who need help, and inaccessible to the common people. For that, a king, a ruler, has to have an additional quality more important than being center of power, is to be able to give up, to have his own sadhana, his own tapasya. He can sacrifice, he lives a simple life, is not attached to wealth and power. His purpose, his goal is to serve, to take care of people, to help the needy, and when he makes decisions or policies, to have the collective social welfare, well-being as his primary goal. Okay. Number 32 is also an interesting idea here, is Ram Rasayan Tumhare Pasa. You have the fortune of obtaining and internalizing the elixir, the essence of Ram. Now, what is Rasayan? In modern terms, you can call it chemistry. You combine two elements and some third element is created, or two elements are transformed. Rasayan. But Rasayan in this context is a deeper expression. Elixir of Ram, which pervades and transforms subtle bodies. Not only your physical body, your mental body, your intellectual body, all the koshas, it runs through it and it can transform at the core of your being. That is the Ram Rasayan, the elixir of Ram. And as we know from other fields of knowledge, that the ailment in the body originates in the mind. If you have disturbed mind, it affects your circulation, your blood pressure, that creates other problems. So body is a symptom or expression of what goes in the mind. Mind as not as a separate entity, but a continuum, mind-body continuum, where on one hand is the physical expression, on the other is mental content of mind. And beyond that is the knowledge and wisdom, buddhi, where all this knowledge is not only present, but it has been assimilated and it becomes part of your experience. And if there is a mistake, if there is an error in that understanding, our rishis have taught that this is called pragya aparadha. So all the problems, individually, socially, is originating in pragya aparadha, mistake of intelligence. So that needs to be purified, and that is Ram Rasayan. This also refers to Ayurvedic healthcare system, the path of long life, healthy long life. So in Ayurveda, Rasayan is a herbal mixture for long life and good health. In the ancient Greek origin, the word is called alchemy, which is the precursor to chemistry. So alchemy was conceived as mixture of heat with different metals to produce gold. It transformed later and developed into chemistry. Mystical approach to knowing the outer world is same as the origin of modern chemistry, limited to physical material interaction among various elements. So the combination, the mixture of inner and outer, integration, is that intellect and the experience which produces the manifested body and its ailments. So Rama Rasayan is the kind of a mixture of these harmonious tendencies, and this is what Hanuman is supposed to have. Number 37, Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai Kripa Karahu Gurudev Ki Nai. Nai means like or similar to. Similar to Gurudev, Hanuman can offer his blessing, his kripa. And that is, true knowledge is possible only through kripa and blessing of Guru. Similarly, the kripa of Hanuman can bestow special physical and spiritual powers, which later referred to as Siddhi and Navanidhi. Okay, so now verse number 31, which requires a little bit more explanation. Siddhi Navanidhi ke data, bar deen Janaki mata. When Hanuman, looking for Sita, finally finds her, he appears very small and polite and introduces himself with the ring of Ram. So after some conversation, Sita is very pleased at the news that Hanuman brought, and he blesses him. She blessed him that Hanuman, you will be capable of giving or blessing someone else with Siddhi and Navanidhi, because you already have it, all the powers, but you can also bestow upon others. So, Siddhis is an ancient concept. After long period of sincere tapasya, sacrifice, dedication, meditation, sages were able to acquire through divine blessing certain spiritual powers. In Yoga Sutras, 8 Siddhis are explained. In other texts there are 16, and in some texts up to 64. But here the reference is made to 8 primary Siddhis. First one is Anima, which is to reduce your own size at will, become very small. Mahima, to enhance your size at will, become huge. Laghima, to reduce your weight at will, become very light, weightless. And Garima, to enhance your weight at will, become so heavy, cannot be moved. Prapti is achieve anything at will, and Prakamya is to influence anyone at will. Ishtatva is to acquire the qualities of any deity. You know, there are deity for water, fire, air, earth, sun, etc. So, acquire the qualities of any deity at will, and Vastatva is to control anything at will. Control things from happening, make things happen, etc. So, these are the yogic or divine Siddhis. They are also Guna Pradhan Siddhis, the qualities. Dura Shravan, to be able to hear things from a distance that nobody else can hear. Dura Darshan, to see things from a distance. Manojava, to project yourself at another time and place. You are present here, but your image is holographic image is projected elsewhere at another time. Kamarup, to acquire any form and shape at will. Parakaya Pravesh is to enter another physical body and live in that body. Transfer your soul. I'm not going to discuss what is soul, but transfer your subtle being into another physical body, this Parakaya Pravesh. Swachanda Mrityu, which is die as and when you desire to. You are not following the rule of life and death. You die when you wish to. That's Swachanda Mrityu. Yatha Sankalpa Samadhi, which means you reach the stage of Samadhi, deepest meditation, thoughtless meditation, Nirvikal Samadhi, at will. without going through a long practice and accomplishing it. Apratinat gat, which is unimpeded and rapid movement. Apratinat gati, speed, without any impediment or obstacle. And there are Prakriti Pradhan Siddhis, gifts of nature. Now, there is a lot of overlap. In other words, these are not exclusive. So, Prakriti Pradhan Siddhis also include Avesh, entering another body, Chetasu Jnanam, mind reading, reading someone else's mind. Now, for this, the prerequisite is one should be able to understand your own mind and the nature of mind, then you know how mind works, and then the expression of another person indicates what is going on in the minds. So, reading other people's mind, seeing extraordinary memory, smriti, hearing the inaudible, what cannot be heard but you are hearing it, control senses and invisible objects, and extraordinary luster and aura, and adrishyam become invisible at will. Similarly, in Sankhya, there is also 8 siddhis, uvaha, knowing 24 tattvas or elements, that is described in Sankhya philosophy. Shabda, wisdom, easily acquire the wisdom from a guru. Adhyayan, success in the study of the Vedas. Suhrada Prapti, having very kind, noble and generous heart. Dan, giving or sharing. Dukhahan, freedom from pain or illness. And freedom from bad fate or fortune. And also freedom from shortage of material objects. Now coming to Navnidhi, these are the treasures or qualities that are included here, listed here. Mahapadma, Sattva, Sattva forever. And Padma, Sattva plus Rajas. Shankha, conch shell, that is self-control. Makar, crocodile, which is the Kshatriya or bravery, qualities of bravery. Kachap, turtle, which is wealth accumulation, long life, being limited, ability to control yourself, like the turtle withdraws his arms and legs and inside the shell. Jasmine, which is family welfare. Sapphire, which is social welfare. And baked vessel, which is mixture of all the above. Their ability to be mature, strong, unbreakable, like a baked pot, which is much stronger than the clay it is made of. And similarly, Navnidhis are described in many other texts. I've made a long list. The last one I'll go to is similar also. Buddhi, intellect, prosperity, dhan, bal is strength, kriya, purifying activity, vikriya, change in the form, tapas, aushadhi, that's healing power, medicine, and emotional bliss, rasa. So, the purpose I attempted to explain all this is Ashtasiddhi and Navnidhi are rare qualities and accomplishments of individuals after a long and persistent effort, perseverance into spiritual practices, meditation, and it is through the blessing of Guru that one is able to accomplish all this. And Hanuman not only has all these qualities within him, but he can bestow upon the devotee of Ram, which comes to Hanuman for help and Hanuman is more than happy to help us in all situations. Thank you.